So we got to go ahead and talk about this whole situation involving a petition that was started to get Charlamagne the God removed from the Breakfast Club that has over 1,800 signatures, and it says remove Charlamagne the God from the Breakfast Club. The issue: Leonard McKelvey, better known as Charlamagne the God, has a history of making lewd and predatory remarks on the Breakfast Club, a nationally syndicated radio station. And on his social media accounts, it is unacceptable for this platform to promote predatory behavior towards women. In 2001, a 15-year-old Jessica Reid claimed she was sexually assaulted by a party by Charlamagne the God. He was arrested a month later for criminal sexual conduct with a minor in the second degree, specifically willfully, unlawfully, and feloniously engaging in penile vaginal intercourse with a 15-year-old female child. He pled guilty to the much lesser charge of contributing to the delinquency of a minor due to lack of cooperation from the victim. Jessica Reid says that her lack of cooperation with the investigation was due to her mother not wanting her to deal with the trauma, testifying in court. Charlamagne has repeatedly spoken about this case, and his version of the events that took place is filled with inconsistencies. It is unfair to Jessica for Charlamagne to publicly spread misinformation about her traumatic experience while she is silenced. Jessica wants closure and for the truth to be heard. Not only do we want justice for Jessica, we want to send a powerful message to all predators that this behavior will not be tolerated. No matter how much money or influence you have, we will not allow you to hurt our children. Please help us take a stand. We want iHeartMedia to stop supporting Charlamagne the God's behavior and fire him from the Breakfast Club. Anyone who accepts a guilty plea from any kind of deviance with children shouldn't be promoted nor have this level of influence. They should be punished. And the petition starter is a name of Alan Livingston. If you read that backwards, that's Livingston Allen, aka DJ Academics. But that's obviously not him. I don't think DJ Academics, of all people, would start a petition trying to get one of his mentors removed from the Breakfast Club. Somebody's using his name, his likeness, in a roundabout way to start a petition. Now, the problem with all this is the case was dismissed due to the statute of limitations. Not only that, during this whole incident, Charlamagne not only denied the accusations, but provided a DNA sample to the police, which he did plead guilty to the reduced charge of contributing to the delinquency of a minor with 3 years probation served. Even Charlamagne's own lawyers pointed out a fair case of inconsistency, saying that Miss Reid has persisted on broadly disseminating her unsubstantiated claims, ignoring that the South Carolina solicitor in 2018 declined her request to reopen the case due to a lack of evidence, while confirming that no basis existed to bring sexual assault charges against Charlamagne. Witnesses have attested to the fact that Charlamagne had already left the party when the alleged assault occurred. His lawyer also states that as a public figure, he has the right to speak out and defend himself publicly. There is a bunch of contradictions all around here. I know some people want to get him fired from the Breakfast Club, but the problem with all this is iHeart been known about this case. This case is from 2001, people, from 24 years ago. That was way before the Breakfast Club even began at iHeart. I'm pretty sure iHeart looked into that case way before they even greenlit a pilot episode for the Breakfast Club, and they had their own lawyers and investigators looking into it, and they're like, we don't care. We're going to greenlight this Breakfast Club show and have Charlamagne the God there. But see, this is my whole thing about this. If y'all felt like that Charlamagne the God did all this bad stuff all them years ago, why give him a platform in the first place? That's number one, if it was true. Why not put pressure on any guest that's been on the Breakfast Club to not appear on the Breakfast Club ever again in the future, or tell anybody in the industry for that matter to never appear on the Breakfast Club if you feel like what happened to Miss Jessica Reid was true and real? And also, this needs to be said too. Y'all not going to do anything about it. Y'all not going to sit here and boycott the show. And even if a few 1,800 people boycotted the Breakfast Club, it ain't going to really matter in the grand scheme of things. It's just not. Because majority of the Breakfast Club's fan base do not care. They do not care, include myself. That shit happened 20 plus years ago. And I'm not trying to come off as insensitive to anything that may or may not happen, but I'm going with the court of the law. The court of the law stated that they could not find any substantial evidence to hit him with any SA charges. Even though I do think it's crazy that he pled guilty to the delinquency of a minor, that's still a crazy charge nonetheless. But I'm not going to drag him for a 20-year-old charge. That was 20 years ago. 20 years ago, I was no taller than my desk. And also, this needs to be said too. There's a good chance that Charlamagne the God has a good amount of ownership in the name, the IP known as the Breakfast Club. Now, he may not own the Breakfast Club IP, but I would assume he would have some ownership of his own name at iHeart. And if he does own the Breakfast Club IP, you definitely not gonna be able to get rid of him with the ownership. And even if he was to leave iHeart, he would take the Breakfast Club name with him. And even if he don't own the name Breakfast Club, guess what he had with Andrew Schultz? And also, that's another thing too. If y'all really cared about this whole Jessica Reid case, why haven't none of y'all put pressure on Andrew Schultz to not do a podcast with him? Why have y'all not put pressure on women to not do anything business-wise with Charlamagne? Why? Why is it only Charlamagne y'all want to hold accountable and not everybody else? Again, the delinquency of a minor charge is weird. It is crazy. But I'm not going to drag him for something that happened 20 years ago. Unlike y'all, I don't beat a dead horse. It's dead. What's the point of beating it? I just think that everybody in this situation just need to let that shit go. It was over 20 years ago. The statute of limitations have expired. There was no evidence to really find against Charlamagne the God. And I know people going to be trying to come up with conspiracies. Oh, he must have paid a motherfucker off. Can you prove he paid anybody to hide evidence? If none of y'all can prove that he paid somebody to hide evidence in 4K, shut the fuck up. Half of y'all wasn't even born yet when that happened. Here's the thing that's so baffling to me as well. How come Charlamagne is the only person that is accused and not everybody else? Jessica Reid said that it wasn't just Charlamagne who did something to her, it was two other people. How come we don't know the names of those two? How come Jessica Reid has not put those names on wax and put those names on blast? How come she's not willing to put their business out there? How come she's not willing to say, hey, these are the other two individuals that did something to me, and not put a name to the bullet for those two, but want to put Charlamagne's name in it as if, oh, he was the only one allegedly involved? If you believe it was him and two other people, name the two other people. And also, this needs to be said too, there has to be a level of accountability for the mother of Miss Jessica Reid. Why did your daughter end up in the same room with Charlamagne the God? How can we talk about that too? I think that has to make her look crazy. And people could say, well, maybe she snuck out the house. Maybe she did some teenage shit. That is the parent. She was the child at the time. All in all, this is an old story. Charlamagne the God is innocent. I do believe in innocent until proven guilty. He was proven innocent. Case closed. Let this go. See y'all in the next video. Peace.